Y'all, I'm back with another Bible study, and tonight I want to discuss the book of Revelation. And yeah, the book of Revelation is a very significant book, of course. It's the last book in the Bible. You know, John the apostle wrote it, and he's the only apostle to not have died by martyrdom or violent death, because you know Judas died, but he didn't die from martyrdom. He just killed himself. But yeah, like I say, Revelation is a very powerful book because it forecasts the things to come. It kind of gives us, you know, our last kind of instructions on how things are going to be and what we need to do. And it's kind of where the last written words of Jesus Christ came from. So that's why it's important that we want to get into Revelation 1:3. It says, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the word of the prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." So yeah, you know, that's basically Jesus saying, like, man, you know, for those of y'all that keep reading this word and walk therein and do the things that I'm instructing you to do, because the time is at hand. You know, we don't have time to waste. And like I said, you know, time is one of those things that people just try to give us the illusion that it's out here for us. Like, time is just something you can buy, or time is just something that can be always just allocated to you. And it's not. And that's why I think we really need to understand that time is running out. You know, time is very serious right now, because like I say, Satan is working really hard to stray us further and further away from God. And as far as working, because as far as, you know, I can see, I don't know if a lot of other you see it, but I know you do, that, you know, the devil is really being bold right now with the things that's going on in the entertainment industry, you know, with things that you see on the internet. You know, they're doing everything, you know, they can to send us to hell, you know, but it's on us to listen to our Heavenly Father and listen to Jesus and walk in the right ways. Because once you open that book and once you start to read and once you start to know better, you know, you got to do better. And that's just how it is. But the sad part about it is a lot of us will never open that book, and a lot of us will just perish. And that's the sad part, because the help is available for us. Jesus Christ is here for us, but we gotta be willing to understand the magnitude of the situation at hand. So yeah, and also in Revelation, it's a part where Jesus is addressing like 7 churches, you know, that are supposed to be spreading the gospel. And it's only a couple of churches in between Philadelphia and one called Semia or something like that. Those 2 churches are the only 2 churches that he actually didn't have anything bad to say. And these are the verses that I read from those churches when he was addressing them. And that's another verse from Revelation 3:8. It says, "I know thy works. Behold, I have set before an open door, and no man can shut it. And has a little strength, and has kept my word, and has not denied my name." So that's basically saying, like, Jesus is a simple man. You know, he's not requiring a whole bunch of us. You know, he's not requiring that we just do something crazy out of ordinary. He's just requiring that we know the works. You know, and he gonna open the door for us that no man can shut, even though he knows that we have little strength. You know, keep his word and don't deny his name. You know, keep his word, you know, keep the things that we're supposed to do, live a righteous life, you know, stay away from fornication, stay away from sexual immorality, you know, stay away from blasphemy, you know, stay away from idolatry, you know, stay away from these things, and he's going to inherit us, you know, into the kingdom of heaven. You know, that's really what it comes down to. Do you want to go to heaven, or do you go to hell? In the book of Revelation, like, man, like when I was reading some of the things that's going to be going down at that time when it's judgment, it's going to be insane. And we just going to be like, whoa, like, we ain't going to have time to process it, of course, because like Jesus says, when he comes swift, and it's just going to go up, you know. And those who are saved and those who accepted Jesus Christ in their life, they're going to be saved, and they're going to be going to heaven. And those that played around, acting like this wasn't real, acting like this wasn't real life, all the things that was happening, you know, all you could do is pray for them. And like I say, it's another verse from Matthew 10:34. It says, this is from Jesus. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword." And why would Jesus be on that type of time? Because like I say, it's a battle, people. Sometimes you got to focus on the things that's not seen, as they would say. Everything's not about what you can see with your eyes. Because one thing that we do know is something going on other than what your eyes can see. Like, and if you can't accept that, then I just don't know how smart you are. You know, you got to be able to understand that it's warfare and it's a battle going on. Like I mentioned in another video, it's a very serious fight going on, people. You know, because why would Jesus, you know, one of the most loving, humble, you know, just compassionate and empathetic men, the most empathetic man that ever lived. Why would he be on this type of time? Why do he feel like he needs to come with a sword? Because he knows Satan is on a certain type of time. Jesus knows Satan is on a certain type of time where he playing for keeps, trying to snatch all Jesus God people away. So Jesus like, man, I got to come up on that type of time. I can't be, all lovey-dovey and try to just, just have faith. Yeah, you got to have faith. But at the end of the day, true faith, the true, display of faith is like how your actions, it was kind of a big discussion, surrounding like, is it faith or works? If it's faith or works, you can't separate the two. And Paul and James kind of talked about this. Like, you can't have true faith, but your actions don't indicate that. So if you have true faith, your actions are going to indicate it. So if you have true faith in Jesus Christ, you're going to walk as Jesus Christ would, and there's no way around it. If you have true faith in Jesus Christ, you won't fall to fornication. You won't be out here constantly sinning. You won't be out here idolizing these celebrities, idolizing all these luxuries, idolizing all these worldly things, because that goes exactly contrary to what Jesus preaches to us. So I just think we got to start, of course, taking things a little bit more serious, because the book of Revelation is a very deep book. I'm probably just going to go back and read it again, because that's one of those books you got to read that a few times to really process, because there's so much going on, as far as, the angels in heaven, and, just how God is going to cast certain judgments on certain realms of people, and just like, it's just so much going on, and it feels like it's sooner than we think.